Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lukenessmonster, and this is Ask Lukenessmonster episode 93, the series on the channel where I answer your guys' questions from the comments down below. So if you guys do want your questions answered in next week's video, make sure to comment down below on this week's video, and I will try my very best to answer it. Jumping into the first question this week, this isn't really a question, but it had a lot of likes, so I thought that I had to go ahead and address it, and it says, we should get an Umbra Trooper redo. Interesting idea. I really love the Umbra Arc Trooper that we have. It is a great figure. It might even be considered one of the best clones we have in the line. It always makes like the top 5 in my worst to first videos. So I would love to do a redo of it, but like I said, on its own right now, it's already one of the best, so do we really need a redo? No, but if they were to do a redo, I would love to see an updated version on that new 2023 body that has the unglued knee pads, the loose chest piece, as well as the bigger shoulder pads. I think this would be great for the Trooper, and not even just the Umbra Trooper by itself, but just any Arc Trooper in the future. I really wish they would put on this 2023 body. The next question from Tony Collins. He asks, I really wish they would re-release Rex and Cody with the new body molds and head sculpts. Do you think there's any possibility they would consider this? As far as Captain Rex goes, I think there's definitely a higher chance just with his recent appearance in Ahsoka. So yeah, I definitely think that Rex, there is a possibility. Really hoping for a removable helmet. The last one has a removable helmet, so I would be surprised if they didn't carry that over to a new mold. And I think that on like the brand new 2023 body would be incredible. As far as Cody goes, I really hope so. You know, Cody isn't obviously as relevant in new media, so it's going to be harder for them to get an excuse to release Cody, but I really hope so because I would love a brand new removable helmet version of Cody. So yeah, I hope so, but definitely Rex has a higher chance than Cody. The next question says, 2 questions for next week. 1, would you ever consider doing worst to first videos ranking the various Black Series droid / alien figures we've received so far in the line? So yeah, to answer your first question, it's definitely been on the list of ideas for a while now, both of those. Pretty much any like subline of characters or anything, you know, troopers, characters, Jedi, Sith, anything like that, they've been on the list for worst to first videos. Worst to first videos are some of my favorite ones to release. The problem is they just take a really long time to write, film, and edit, and so because of that, I don't really get to put them out as much as I would like to. I'd love to do one, like, what, two a month is what I would ideally like to do, but like I said, unfortunately, I just don't have the time to do that. So to answer your question, yes, they are on the list, but they're not near the top of the list, that's for sure. And then the second question asks, with the pipeline supposedly upgraded Phase 1 Clone Trooper, do you think this is Hasbro's opportunity to update the Phase 1 clone officers, or give us some more Phase 1 Legion clones from the Clone Wars 2008, and perhaps some other clones listed here like the Phase 1 like Fordo mold, ARC Troopers, Clone Gunners, 501st, 212th, more Legions listed? Great question. And to answer your question, I hope so. I would really hope that Hasbro uses the opportunity of this new mold to really just repaint it and push out as many different variants as possible. Now, will Hasbro do that? Unfortunately, probably not, but I really hope they do. We need a brand new captain, commander, lieutenant, and sergeant. Like, we need them really bad. The original ones are awful, and it's about time we got some updated ones in the line. But like I said, at this point, who knows if we're ever going to get those again. But at this point, I really hope they take advantage of that new mold, and plus the brand new Clones of the Republic subline. This is literally a clone repaint subline, and so if they aren't even considering all of those Phase 1, Phase 2, ARC Trooper, countless different clone variations in the line, they're gonna just fail the line before it even starts. Like, this is a clone repaint line, and they need to pretty much repaint clones. And now that we're on the topic of that Clones of the Republic subline, the next question says, do you think Hasbro will only release Clone Jedi 2-packs for the Clones of the Republic line, or do you think they'll make single packaging as well? Great question. This is one that we don't really know as of right now. The only one that we have confirmed for this is that Jedi and Clone 2-pack. And so at this point, like I said, we don't really know what Hasbro is planning to release for this line, but I think it's safe to assume that there will be single releases. I think that it's just kind of a coincidence that the first one was a 2-pack. Now, if they want to make this a strictly 2-pack line, I'd be fine with it just because I plan on picking them up anyway, but I think that would definitely be a big bummer for the line because the Clones of the Republic is a great army building line, and so if they if they pretty much lock all of these into 2-packs with an army building character and a non-army building character, it really hinders the possibility of being able to army build some of these cool clones you'd get in this line. So we don't really know as of right now, but I would expect them to do some single releases. The next video says, "Sir, how long does recording a review usually take? Do you have a habit of writing a script before recording? Do you typically analyze the subject or subjects of your review behind the camera before arranging said subjects or subjects in front of the camera? Is editing process particularly cumbersome? Does an acceptable amount of time pass between the moment you turn on the camera and the moment your project is made available to the masses? I trust you have a good day. Sir, I am much obliged to consider myself a happy and honored member of your audience." What? Great, awesome question. I really love the vibe and the hype around this comment, so thank you for asking it. I do really appreciate it, and it really depends on the videos themselves. I know you mentioned reviews a lot in this, and reviews are interesting. It's a lot of actually sitting and recording videos. And a typical review from, setting up my camera and grabbing figures from comparisons to actually posting the video can somewhat be between, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how long the review is. But like I said, it really depends on the type of video. Something like an Ask Lukenessmonster can be an hour to an hour and a half. Something like a breaking news video can be as short as 15 minutes. It really just depends on the type of video and the amount of work I actually have to put into recording and editing. I know that the physical videos where I'm actually filming like a review or something behind the camera takes a lot longer to make, just because the file size of the video takes a lot longer to upload compared to like a breaking news video where it's all just voiceover stuff. Even like Ask Lukenessmonster, it's all voiceover stuff, and so because of that, the file size is much smaller, and so it uploads faster. So stuff like that you have to consider as well, but overall it really depends on the video. You look at something like the Lukeness gaming channel, gaming videos are really tedious for me because you have to get like between an hour and a half of just straight raw footage of you playing the game to then edit down. So you've already guaranteed yourself at least an hour of filming and then another hour of editing to comb through all of that and edit it down. So gaming videos take at least 2 hours, and most of the time it takes more. So yeah, it really depends on the video, but great question, and it's not one that I don't think I've really been asked before, so thanks for asking it. The next question says, "Do you think we'll ever see an extended universe or Legends subline?" Great question. No, I don't really think we will, just because we don't get enough Legends characters or extended universe characters to really warrant a subline, and if we do get them, they're in comic book or gaming grades packaging, and so because of that, I think Hasbro's just going to consider just redoing their publishing line or their gaming grades line. They're going to continue that rather than making a whole subline, because it just makes more sense, because I don't think you can go out and you can name a Legends character that's not from a book, a comic book, or a video game. And so since they already have all those bases covered, there's no real reason to go out and make a subline for it. The next question says, "Do you collect or consider collecting anything outside of Star Wars?" So my main collecting is obviously Star Wars The Black Series, but I do pick up a few other 6-inch lines here and there. I kind of dabble in Marvel Legends, pretty much strictly MCU stuff though. And then I just recently got into picking up some of the Hasbro Fortnite Legendary series, or no, they're the Battle Royale series, and just actually made a video on that if you guys want to go check it out. But other than that, my main focus is definitely Black Series, and yeah, it's just I don't really have room for anything else. If I had a really huge room with great big display cases and really big shelves to put everything, yeah, I would consider collecting more, but right now I gotta work with the limited space that I have. The next question says, "Hey dude, I'm an older collector, Black Series since 2014, I'm a completionist in the line, and I love the trilogies. So what do you think if Black Series did a 9-nub from Return of the Jedi or Lobot from Empire?" Great question, and I really would just absolutely love these. I don't want to say they're niche background characters, because I think there's a lot of love for these guys, but they don't have much lines, and they don't really serve much purpose in the overall point of the story, but I absolutely love them, and I think they'd make great Black Series figures, so I'm hoping that Hasbro does do these within the next year or two. We'll have to wait and see, because I think Hasbro has definitely shifted their focus from original trilogy to more Disney Plus and prequel stuff, so which is definitely not a bad thing, but I do hope they give a few original trilogy figures some love here and there. So Lobot and 9-nub would both be at the top of my list. The next question from Oliver, he asks, why do you hate Rise of Skywalker so much? I think it's the best one. So I know you're lying, cause Rise of Skywalker is no one's favorite one, but just by some chance you weren't lying. I just don't like the movie because it undid everything that The Last Jedi did. Now, I'm not saying The Last Jedi is a good movie. It's definitely not a good movie. I don't think it's great by any means, but it holds up on its own. It's visually stunning, and for the most part, it's a nice change from the standard Star Wars formula that we've been getting. And so when everybody didn't like The Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker went back and said, okay, we're going to undo everything from that movie. And they quite literally did. And it really, really sucks. And if you just want a few examples of how they undid everything, I'll give you a few examples. Kylo Ren breaks his helmet. Nope. He undid it. He welded it back together. The Skywalker lightsaber blows up. Nope. It's welded back together. Rey's a nobody? Nope. She's a Skywalker. Snoke is dead. The big bad is dead. Well, Palpatine's back though, so we still have a big bad. And it just overall, it didn't take itself seriously, and it was just a big movie of fan service, which didn't make any sense. Again, I don't like The Last Jedi, but The Last Jedi had some pretty good, interesting story along with it, and they just went and undid everything that was good about The Last Jedi. Now, don't get me wrong, they did everything that was bad about it too, but it's really, really frustrating to see them pretty much take this story that's at, 4 or 5 years in the making and completely take it in a different direction that has no meaning. Like, bringing Palpatine back is really, really stupid. It's out of nowhere, there's no foreshadowing for it, and I just don't like how they did that. So if you guys want like a full in-depth like video on my love-hate relationship with the sequel trilogy, let me know down in the comments, because it's a video that I would love to make and I've never really made it before. But yeah, I don't like the sequel trilogy. And then the last question for today, how do you feel about Jenna Ortega? Great question, but I think the better question is, how don't I feel about Jenna Ortega? Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, the like button and subscribe, and you want your questions answered in next week's video, make sure to comment down below on this week's video, and I'll try my very best to get around to answer it. Now, I do get a lot of questions for these, and I can't guarantee I'll answer every one, so if you do want to get your question guaranteed an answer, consider going down and hitting that join button down below, because channel members do get priority responses for Ask Lukenessmonster. And plus, you do get a cool name badge that progresses the longer you're a member, as well as exclusive channel emoji. So consider going down and hitting that join button. It helps out a lot. And thanks again for watching the video. I'll see y'all in the next one.